Louise and Tabitha. Louise was a cat about town. Dashing, charming, perfectly suave. He lived, unofficially, at the fire station and had, since a daring rescue involving a very small Louise, a very shrill smoke alarm, and a very tall house. His tail still had the scorch marks. Louise liked to go visiting, as society cats do. Sometimes he'd travel in the fire truck. Everywhere he went, Louise was welcomed with open arms and leftovers. One night, after too much catnip and too many sardines, Louise was making his rounds when he took a wrong turn. He climbed a wall and saw Tabitha. Elegant, silky, perfectly sophisticated. Louise stopped. Tabitha stared. It was love. Love from afar. Love under the spotlight of the moon. Love thwarted by a thick glass door. And by Tabitha's owner. "Shoo!" she cried. "Shoo!" Louise shooed, but he wasn't done. The next morning, Tabitha stared out at a vast bouquet of sardine tins and twine and feathers. Louise smiled. Tabitha smiled. Tabitha's owner did not smile. "Shoo!" she cried. "Shoo!" Louise shooed, but he wasn't done. The next day, he brought mice. The day after that, he brought pigeons. And after that, balloons, which is not easy when you're a cat. Each day, Louise and Tabitha stared into each other's eyes until Tabitha's owner chased Louise away. Louise needed advice. He asked his friends over a bowl of cream. "You're an outside cat," said Mr. Pickles. "And you need to be an inside cat," said Socks. "Or at least look like one," said One-Eyed Winky. Louise had an idea. The next day, Louise showed up at Tabitha's door once more. Louise smiled. Tabitha smiled. Tabitha's owner clutched her hands to her heart and opened the door. Louise was inside, where everything was soft and warm and scratchable. And Louise and Tabitha were inseparable. Until the doorbell rang. "Is this him?" "That's him." And Louise and Tabitha were thwarted by the thick glass door once more. Louise had a new home and a new name and a new owner. And all the sardines and cheese he could eat. But all he wanted was Tabitha. And all Tabitha wanted was Louise. It was love, love from afar. Love from far too afar. Then the doorbell rang. "Is this him?" "That's him! And that's not him." And Luis was a cat about town once more. Luis needed advice. He asked his friends over a bowl of cream. "You're an outside cat," said Mr. Pickles. "And she's an inside cat," said Socks. "And that's just the way it is," said One-Eyed Winky. So Luis went visiting, as society cats do. He went visiting all across town. Everywhere he went, he was welcomed with open arms and leftovers. And everywhere he went, Tabitha wasn't. Until one night, Luis was riding in the fire truck when his tail began to tingle. Luis saw Tabitha, elegant, silky, perfectly sophisticated, and in terrible danger. The sirens began to wail. "Everyone, outside!" cried the firefighters. The crowd was a cloud of arms and shrieks as it gathered on the corner. But there was no Tabitha. And suddenly, there was no Luis. The crowd waited and worried and fretted. Finally, the gray parted, and from it emerged Luis and Tabitha, leading Tabitha's owner. The crowd cheered. Tabitha's owner plopped down on the curb and clutched her hands to her heart. She looked at Luis and Tabitha and smiled. The cat show judge placed a blue ribbon on Tabitha, and the firefighters placed a gold medal on Luis and declared them both perfectly heroic. Luis was back inside, where everything was soft and warm and scratchable. And Luis and Tabitha were inseparable.
Join us at Vooks.com or download the app.
We are not friends.
Can I play with you?
Yes!
Well, boing, boing. Thanks! Oh, look!
Ooh.
We can do a duet.
Okay.
But Tappity. My hat!
What? It was getting hot. Let's play Dinosaur Hunters.
Where's our friend?
Who?
Our friend.
We are friends. We are not friends with...
I'm back! Boing, boing.
Great! Now we all can play Dinosaur Hunters.
Great. I know. We can build a car.
A jeep.
Great minds.
Think alike. Stack. Beep, beep.
Squeak.
It's a two-seater.
Then where do I sit?
You can be the dinosaur.
Yeah, attack, T-Rex.
Roar.
Louder.
Roar.
Scarier.
Not friends!
I deserve this.
Sniff.
You are right. We are not friends. We are best friends. Huh?
And this is our new friend?
Yes.
Yay! Do you want to play spies?
Yeah.
Huh?
Can I play too?
Join us at Vooks.com or download the app.
Let's Be Friends by Marshall Becks and Ali Stahl. Early one morning, just as the sun was starting to rise, Rosie woke up, stretched and rubbed her eyes.
It's a brand new day,
She exclaimed.
I just know there will be so much to see and do. I can't wait to go out and play.
Rosie looked all around for a friend to play with her, but there was no one else there.
I guess I'll just have to go play by myself,
She sighed.
So Rosie started off on her adventure all alone.
It wasn't long before she happened upon a strange-looking creature.
Rosie scurried over to investigate. You don't really look like a fox,
said Rosie.
Squeak,
said the little creature.
You don't really smell like a fox,
said Rosie.
Squeak,
said the little creature.
And you don't really sound like a fox,
said Rosie.
Squeak, my name is Colby, and I'm definitely not a fox. I am a mouse. Squeak, will you play with me?
Rosie asked him.
Of course,
said Colby. The two new friends took off to go play. Rosie was so excited to have a friend to play with that she started to run faster and faster and faster.
Wait for me,
shouted Colby from behind.
Let's play hide and seek,
said Rosie.
Great idea, I'll count.
Colby covered his eyes.
1, 2, 3, ready or not, here I come.
Rosie and Colby were certainly enjoying their fun day together, but they were running out of things to do.
Let's go swimming in the pond,
said Colby.
Great idea,
said Rosie. She took off running towards the pond with Colby hanging on to her tightly. Over by the pond, there was a little gosling named Puddles, who was wishing he had some friends to play with too. Stay close to the pond where I can see you play, Mother Goose instructed.
Okay, Mama,
said Puddles. Puddles looked all around for a friend to play with him, but there was no one else there.
I guess I'll just have to go play by myself,
he sighed. Just then, Rosie and Colby arrived at the pond. They were about to jump into the water when they noticed a strange-looking creature. The two friends scurried over to investigate. "You don't really look like a fox," said Rosie.
Or a mouse,
said Colby.
Honk,
said the little creature.
"You don't really smell like a fox,"
said Rosie.
Or a mouse,
said Colby.
Honk,
said the little creature.
"And you don't really sound like a fox,"
said Rosie.
Or a mouse,
said Colby.
Honk, "My name is Puddles, and I'm definitely not a fox or a mouse. I'm a gosling. Honk."
"Will you play with us?" Rosie asked him.
"Of course,"
said Puddles. Puddles ran up to Mother Goose.
"Can I go play with my new friends?"
he asked. "As long as you play here in the pond," said Mother Goose.
"Let's play!"
The three new friends jumped into the pond. They played and swam and splashed around for hours and hours. After they had finished swimming, Rosie wrapped her new friends in a great big hug.
"I am so glad I found some friends today."
After a long day of playing, just as the sun was starting to set, Rosie and Colby and Puddles yawned very tired yawns and rubbed very tired eyes. Then they all cuddled up next to each other and fell fast asleep, each one dreaming about the adventures they would have together tomorrow.
Join us at Vooks.com or download the app.
The best seat. It was a cool Saturday afternoon. Actually, it was just barely afternoon. Jack was just waking up to start the day. The coffee was steaming. The sun was beaming. And the best part of Jack's day was just around the corner. Breakfast! The clock now read 1 in the afternoon. And there was one more thing that Jack loved to do when he woke up. He loved sitting in his favorite seat and listening to his favorite music. But someone was already in it. It was Walrus.
What a nice seat. I do like to sit here.
No one ever sits in Jack's seat except for Jack, and he was not ready to share. My chair. Jack and Walrus fought over the seat until the clock read 2 in the afternoon. But there was just one too many in Jack's favorite seat.
Meow. I will go find another best seat to sit in.
Said Jack.
No. You sit here. I will go find my own best seat to sit in. And I will do it before the clock strikes 3.
Walrus announced. The race was on. Walrus and Jack set off to see who could find the best seat before the clock struck 3.
It's on.
At At 2:15, Jack found his first seat. But it moved too much, and that freaked him out. So Jack kept looking for the best seat. Walrus found the moving seat too.
What a nice seat. I will sit here.
At 2:30, an interesting sound led Jack to his next seat. But it was too wet, and that freaked him out. So Jack kept looking for the best seat. Walrus found the wet seat too.
What a fun seat. I will sit here.
At 2:45, a peculiar sound led Jack to his next seat. But it was too squishy, and that freaked him out. So Jack kept looking for the best seat. Walrus found the squishy seat too.
Oh, what a great seat. I will sit here. Oh, sorry.
Jack found many strange seats that didn't quite fit. And he found many places that he shouldn't sit. He spent so much time finding spots and examining them that he lost track of what Walrus was doing. When Jack caught back up with Walrus, together they tried ottomans, tuffets, wicker, and stumps. They tried chairs that were soft, hard, smooth, and bumpy. They tried anything that looked like a seat, even a dirty pile of laundry. They tried so many options that when the clock struck 3, Jack and Walrus were both very tired. So they gave up and sat down right where they began, even though they had not yet found the best seat.
Meow. Meow.
It's not what you're sitting on, but who you are sitting with that makes it the best. The best seat, the very best seat, is with a friend.
Join us at Vooks.com or download the app. Henry and Bee. It's always lucky to find someone who understands you. And that's why Henry and Bee were the best of friends. They always had fun together. It's as if they could tell what the other was thinking without saying a word. Except for one day when Henry seemed quiet and sad. No one, not even Bee, knew why. I'd rather sit by myself, said Henry at lunchtime. She tried to find out what was the matter, but Henry acted like they weren't even friends. What did I do? Asked Bee. Just leave me alone, said Henry. And she did. It was hard on Bee. She missed her friend. Then Mrs. Birchfield made an announcement. This Friday, we are taking a field trip to my family's farm. The classroom buzzed with excitement, except for Henry. This is going to be great, Bee turned and said to Henry out of habit. Mumbled Henry. The morning of the field trip was cold and gray. The class gathered outside to get onto the bus. Neither Henry nor Bee had been to a farm, and Bee thought maybe the field trip might make him feel happier. Can I sit by you? Bee gently asked Henry. I don't care, he huffed, and he looked the other way. The bus rumbled up to the old farm and rolled past the brightly colored autumn trees as the cows chewed on the dewy morning grass. The class was given a tour of how the farm was run. But Henry was still having a tough time and went off on his own again. When Bee opened the barn door, the air was musty and dark, with old tools and tractors quietly rusting away. Her warm breath cut through the darkness. She spied Henry in the hayloft and climbed up, a little reluctantly. I found this, said Henry without looking at Bee. It was an old cat collar. The leather strap was tattered and broken, and the dirt from age made the tag hard to read. Henry started to cry. Bee froze. What's wrong? Buddy died last week, said Henry, wiping his eyes. Oh, said Bee. I didn't know. He was such a sweet old cat. It's hard to lose a friend, she said quietly. Bee gently put the collar back into Henry's hand. Just then, a loud rumble in the distance cut through the air. The barn door creaked open loudly. Bee? Henry? Called Mrs. Birchfield. We're up here, Bee responded quickly. Henry rushed to wipe his face. Everyone needs to come inside. A storm is coming. Bee and Henry climbed down from the hayloft in silence. Then, as they were walking back to the farmhouse, Bee got an idea. Wait, she said to Henry, and grabbed a small shovel that was resting on a bench. She began to dig a hole next to the barn. Let's say goodbye to Buddy. Henry nodded as he wiped away a few remaining tears. Henry placed the collar in the hole, and together they covered it carefully. They heard the soft sprinkle of rain hit the dirt. The dark clouds came up behind them and filled the sky. The rain started to come down even harder. The rest of the class squealed with excitement as they ran into the farmhouse. Henry and Bee were the last to make it there, but Henry stopped at the steps. Bee understood. "I won't say anything," she said quietly. As the class got out of their muddy boots and ate some freshly baked cookies, they all chattered about the things they had seen. Henry looked out the window. "Maybe we'll see some lightning," he mumbled to Bee through a mouthful of cookie. "That would be so cool," said Bee, chomping down on one of her own. Or even a rainbow.
If you don't have Vooks, what are you waiting for? It's a kid-safe, ad-free library full of storybooks brought to life. Ask your grown-up and start exploring more fun stories like these.
Thanks for watching. For more stories, try the Vooks app for free today.